Yo, what is up, everyone? Joker here, bringing you a video on Albion Online, but more of a conversational video. I'm going to be kind of running around the solo dungeon while I speak about this as well, but I'm going to be going to some other pages as well. So, I wanted to go ahead and bring it up to everyone's attention, kind of have the question out there. Is Do you think that SBI is artificially inflating their player count to try to bring more popularity into Albion Online? Now, you may be thinking, okay, wait, what, how, why, and so on, right? But a little while ago, they put out this post, right? Saying that it hit the record levels of popularity. There was 271,000 concurrent players. Um, and that's kind of insane, especially when you think and look at all the references of Albion. Nothing really justifies that, where there's 271,000 players on average daily players, right? Especially because if you look at other games, I'm going to be using Path of Exile as an example, where it hit a high of where it says that it hit a high of 265,000 uh, players, and that's its peak. So I'm going to be comparing the two and kind of tell you why I feel like Albion's kind of artificially inflating their numbers to try to make the game seem like it's more popular than it actually is. Which I mean, I guess is definitely a way, but it is going to be misleading to a lot of players too, right? Because if you think there's all these people playing, then of course you're going to want to jump on into a game with all these players. But with it seeming to be artificially increased numbers, that's where the problem coming from is the fact that they're not real players. I don't know if they're artificially increasing it or if they're bots that they pumped in to get the number or what. But if you think about it, it just doesn't make sense that Albion has a player base of 271,000 players daily. Because let's look at it, right? So if Albion has a player base of 271,000 people daily, then that would mean that they have to be popping off, right? Their Twitch, their Twitter, YouTube videos, all of these things are going to have to be in the hundreds of thousands of views, right? Because that means that there's this many people actively playing their game. So they're going to want to know about their game, right? That only makes sense. But if you look back over at Path of Exile, like I was saying, 265,000 is what their record high was. Now, if we go over to Steam, and I know Steam is the small numbers for every game that is hosted on its own client, but as you can see, there's about 10 to 12,000 players on Steam. Even if you look at Path of Exile, where majority of the players play on the real client, 155,000 players during league start, right? And then even in the last 30 days when it's the end of the league, there's still 3 times the player base that Albion has, and you can't say it's everyone just plays on the normal client because that doesn't make any sense because majority of Path of Exile's player base plays on Path of Exile's client as well. So that would cancel out that argument. So if they have more players, you're telling me that 260,000 people use Albion's real client and then the other 12,000 use Steam. I'm not going to believe that for like a second. Um and then if you go ahead and you take a look at I could have swore I had their YouTube up, but I guess I don't. Here, let me pull up another YouTube real quick and go to Path of Exile real quick and just take a look at the comparison. So, Path of Exile, when it has that 260,000 concurrent players, it has a Path of Exile page that's the official Path of Exile page from GGG, has 170,000 subscribers. if we look over at Albion, there's 42,000, right? And I don't know, that just doesn't match up, right? Because even if you look at the videos, this is their official, this is their official YouTube page. And if you look at it, this you can tell is obviously advertised. They paid for advertisement on that. That's obvious to tell when you have videos that have 900 views. Um, so they paid to have this advertised pretty fucking. They must have paid a pretty penny for that to actually be advertised that much. Especially 4.3 million views in 2 weeks, and still they didn't get any subscribers from it. So it shows that there's not that need, there's not that want for Albion Online, but yet you have 271,000 players. I don't get that because, like I was saying, if you go over to the Path of Exile, 163, 163, 100, like, and these are mainly teaser videos and stuff, right? And it's consistent. That's the biggest thing. It's not like this video randomly has 4 million views when this video has 900. It's that it's consistent. You can tell that there's a player base that's looking at stuff that Path of Exile does, and they're doing it concurrently. Where you look at Albion and SBI, that's not the case. Most of the content from them is super limited. I mean, if you go over to Twitch, there's 307,000 followers. So that would mean literally more than their entire player base has chosen to follow Albion. But it also says there's 1.1k viewers, which I don't get where they're getting that number out of 200. There's like, I don't know, 470 views, right? And if you have a game that has 270,000 viewers, I'm sorry, concurrent players, then you're going to have more than that. Back to the Path of Exile example, where it is the down season, it is the off time for Path of Exile. And you can still see that there, in the first couple of people, there's still 15, 16, 1,700 viewers. Plus, it does scroll down for a while as well. And it has 2.3 million followers. So if you look at it that way, it doesn't make sense how SBI is going to state that Albion has 271k concurrent viewers, where there's literally no proof of this number being real. And it seems like they're just artificially inflating the player numbers to try to draw more popularity into their game, which is kind of sad in my opinion, honestly. Because if I go, I believe it's under Grinding Gear Games. Do they have what is it called? What is Path of Exile's channel called? I don't know what their name's called. Is it like Path of Exile Official or something? Damn, I can't find it. But I'll go over to Twitter. If we go ahead and we look up Path of Exile, right? If we look up Path of Exile here, there's 159,000 people just on the Path of Exile page, not including the other pages. But if we go trying looking for Albion Online, it's going to say that there's 26k. And these are supposed to be games that have matching player bases. I'm sorry. There's no way that you're convincing me that you have 270k when you have 270k concurrent players, when essentially even your official Twitch channel, which you won't partner, quote unquote, you won't partner, is kind of like lackluster, right? But you're saying that you're competing with some of the biggest MMOs and other RPG games by saying you have 271k concurrent viewers. Concurrent players. My question to SBI is, where are these players? Because if you play a game, you're going to look it up. You're going to follow this game somewhere. If you're not following it on YouTube, if you're not following it on Twitch, if you're not following it on Twitter, then you're just playing a game and you're never looking up a video about it. What the fuck? Like, you're never looking up the company that makes the game. You're never gonna look for posts that the company make. No, like that literally makes no sense. So when I saw this, it kind of drew my attention and it made me ask myself that question. Is SBI artificially inflating their player numbers to try to seem like the game is bigger and better than it actually is? And in my opinion, I honestly think they are, which is really petty and kind of sad in my opinion that you'd go that far to try to artificially show players in your game to try to bring more players to your game. But if anyone does like the smallest amount of research, they find out that it's not true, as well as the numerous things about the SBI staff being childish and or toxic most of the time kind of justifies and verifies that that is something that they would probably do, artificially inflate their numbers to try to make the game seem better. So I don't know, guys. You tell me how you feel about it. If you leave your thoughts down in the comments, I'll interact with you guys the best I can. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I have more RPG as well as MMO gameplay and stuff like that coming out soon. The new Path of Exile League is going to be here in in a couple weeks, so there's going to be patch notes and stuff to go over as well. But yeah, I just wanted to throw together this video for you to kind of bring the question to everyone's attention of like, does it make sense to anyone else how they supposedly have 270,000 players as a concurrent player base, but the company themselves as well as all of their medias don't have a following that supports that? I don't know. That just blows my mind how um they're saying, "Oh yeah, 270,000 people play concurrently, but just none of them watch a YouTube video, a Twitch video, follow us on Twitter, look us up." They just play the game without actually looking at any of that stuff, any gameplay, money making, tutorial, like most things people do in games. Yeah, they don't do that for us, but they play. All right, guys. But yeah, just wanted to bring this. I said short video, but it ain't very short. But yeah, just wanted to bring this up and see if anyone felt the same way. All right, guys. Until next time, take care.